The top of Serie A looks like this heading into the weekend. Inter 1 point clear of their city rivals, AC Milan. Of course, the two set to meet Sunday at the San Siro. Just a massive match in terms of title ramifications. Now, they played 3 weeks ago in the Coppa Italia quarterfinals, an infamous dust-up between Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Romelu Lukaku. Well, it's now been turned into a mural outside of the San Siro, adding to the rivalry ahead of this great match. For more, we welcome in Adriano del Monte. Usually he'd be in Milan, now in Australia due to travel restrictions. No doubt, probably even still from Australia. Adriano, you can sense the buzz over this match, which must be what, the biggest derby della Madonnina in over a decade?
It has to be, Sebi. What a massive derby della Madonnina it will be this weekend between two teams deservedly 1 and 2 in the league standings, and made a little more significant by that meeting last weekend, a couple of weeks back rather, between the two sides in that Coppa Italia. Lukaku and Zlatan will be the big headline going into this one. Both players at the top of their game, both teams really at the top of their game as well, despite a couple of slip-ups recently by the Rossoneri, but really a massive match, and it will be a decisive fixture when we talk the Scudetto race this season.
I got to think Inter are the favorite here, not just because they're leading in the table, but also because they've won 3 straight in the league. Just how much pressure is on Antonio Conte to win this match and really grab hold of the title race now?
Well, no doubt the Scudetto is Inter's to lose at this point. It must be noted that Inter Milan remain the only team in the top 7 at the moment without European football. And, well, in the year that it has been difficult for all, we know 16 matches between them and the Scudetto, while the likes of Milan, Juventus and the chasing pack are still competing in the Champions League and Europa League, certainly into overwhelming favourites. And you would imagine that 3 points this weekend well and truly puts them in the box seat. But Antonio Conte needs to get this win, add that little buffer to them over their crosstown rivals, and then really set themselves up for a massive final 15 games of the season.
You mentioned the lack of European football for Inter. AC Milan, meanwhile, they're in the Europa League. They had to play Thursday, 2-2 draw against Red Star Belgrade. How do you think that'll impact Stefano Pioli's approach to this game?
Well, we'll see what impact it has on a personnel front. Unfortunately, they did lose Benacer, the key midfielder in that match, who only recently returns from injury. So certainly a big blow to Pioli. However, he was fortunate enough to rest a couple of his key figures, most notably Zlatan, who didn't feature in that one. Çalhanoğlu only played a couple of minutes off the bench late on. So, look, I think Milan will be fresh enough, but quite clearly a trip to Belgrade in the Europa League a few days out before the biggest match of their season, not the ideal preparation, particularly in contrast to Inter Milan, who, of course, have had a full week to prepare.
Milan coming off that really disappointing defeat against Spezia as well in the league. Is this make or break? Is this effectively a must-win for Milan if they are going to go on and challenge for this title?
I think it is very important. There's no doubt about that. Still 16 fixtures do remain, so we still have a half of the season to play. But if you look at Inter's fixture list after this match, if they can win and go 4 points clear, the next 10 matches that follow, they'll only take on 2 in the top 7. Very winnable for an Inter side. Again, the key point, without the distraction of European football. Should Milan go through in the Europa League round of 32, they'll obviously play an extra 2 matches in the month of March as well. So, yes, I do think this is an absolute must-win for the Rossoneri to, well, obviously maintain the pace and reclaim the lead from Inter Milan. So certainly more decisive, I feel, for Milan than Inter at this point.
Adriano, of course, is all so exciting because we might actually have a different champion in Serie A than Juventus. I wonder what's been the reaction in the Italian press to Juventus' horrible week. First losing to Napoli in the league and then the loss to Porto in the Champions League, other than crying about the Cristiano Ronaldo no pen.
Well, that's where I was going to start, because that has dominated the reaction and the fallout from that very disappointing and, as you said, horrible week overall, but disappointing defeat to Porto 2-1 there. Look, a bit of positivity about the fact that Federico Chiesa did get that away goal. Now, Juve have failed to get an away goal in the first leg of the round of 16 in the last couple of seasons prior to this one. So the tie well and truly is still alive, but we need to see a much improved Juventus, and that has now been the focus. Obviously, still a couple of weeks to go until the two teams meet in the return fixture in Torino. There is optimism, but is this a Juventus team good enough to win the Champions League this season? Well, based off that performance, probably not at this stage.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.